Hello and welcome back to this video, and today we're going to see how to flick from the inside. So flicking is actually one of the most useful skills that you can learn in any Filipino martial arts. Why? Because basically you're going to attack from the distance and you can actually reach very far, and you probably wonder yourself, well, why would I care about that? Well, normally when you attack this way and the other person strikes blocking you, right? It's kind of like the end of that because the other person controls now this side. But flicking is the only alternative that you have for that. Well, not the only alternative, one of the alternatives that you have. You could change the side, for example, towards the other side in which the other person can reply. But basically what the other person is doing is just moving the stick from one side to the other one. So as you can see, it's quite fast like that. The person can move quickly one side to the other one. But it's different if you change plane. Rather than attacking this area, you're going to attack the top. Rather than going side to side, you're going to go towards the top. How do you do that? By flicking. As you can see, it's very, very easy for you to execute and very difficult for the other person to stop. That's what, among other things, makes this particular skill so useful. Because again, if the other person stops here and then you change towards the other side, it's easier to stop. It's much more difficult to do this because by the time that the person reaches, you already have hit the person's head. So because of that, I wanted to have a standalone video in which I explain the flicking techniques, but rather than explaining the flicking techniques from every single angle, I'm going to separate. I'm going to have one video in which I explain them from abierta, which is the one that we're going to see today, and another video in which I explain how to do them from cerrada. From abierta will be very simple. The idea behind this is as if you're going to go around the person, and then we're going to start with the most simple one. You're going to go around the person like this, and then you're going to flick, rotating your wrist. So as you can see, my palm is now facing up, and then switches, and now it's facing down. This is actually one of the key components. Why? Because you want to attack the back of the head, but as if you're attacking towards yourself, like this. So it's this motion, boom, like this. One more time, this. So obviously I'm not going to hit Ching on the head, but that is the idea. This, and bring it back. Now, what are the targets for that? So you are going to target the top of the head, which is one of the main targets. You can also target the lower part of the back, which is very painful. You can also attack the lower part of the leg and the back of the leg. In this case, you can target towards the back of the knee, which is one of the options as well. Or even you can go as low as attacking the back of the foot here. But make sure that you don't get too close to the other person, because at that point, the person can actually capitalize by punching you in the face. So what is the point on sacrificing one thing if you're going to get punched anyway, right? So the benefit again of this is that it allows you to attack the back, for example, of the head, which is extremely complicated to defend in the first place, by gaining at the same time some range, because I'm here. I don't need to do anything else. I can just attack the back of the head without having to move. Now, if you separate a little, please, the idea behind this is this motion, a little bit more, this one more time, this one more time, this. As you can see, you go forward and bring it back. So you take advantage also of your body moving forward and backwards, particularly with the back foot, because it allows that rotation and to go much faster and also to generate more power. So those are the horizontal type of strikes. Yes, there's a little bit of an angle, but we're going to see some with an angle in a second. But right now we're going to go in the horizontal strikes. And again, top of the head, you can go towards the back of, lower back of the person. You can attack even the back of the knee. I will give you those three choices as the main ones that you're going to attack. The only difference is that I'm lowering my body as I do that. Similarly, we have angles, and in this case, I can also do the same thing, but by using an angle. In this case, I can go by using an angle up, like this, boom, attacking the head, this. As you can see, you're still going to attack the back of the head, but in this case, you're going to go from underneath. Now, what is the use against, what is the main benefit between this and what I was doing before? Because before I was just doing the same thing. Well, the benefit is when I go like this, you might think that I'm going to attack low. In this case, I can attack your knee, for example. That's actually a classic strike that you're going to have. In this case, you can attack the knee. But from there, you can change your mind and attack the back of the head. As you can see, it's a lot for the other person to think about. Particularly, I'm going to gain some range, so I can attack. It will be this. As you can see, the first part of the attack suggests that I'm going to attack low. The person might even be ready for that, and then you change your mind and you attack the back of the head. Now, you can also do an angle down. In this case, you can start like this and then finish by going low. In this case is this. You're attacking kind of like high and changing your mind and attacking slightly low. I wouldn't actually go any lower than the lower part of your back, because other than that, you are going to tell by lowering your body anyway. So this is more than enough. Now, I particularly find this more useful when you attack the back of the arm like this, because obviously this is very painful, particularly against an arm that you might be able to use for trapping. So if I wanted to attack the arm rather than attacking directly, I might actually attack like this, because I'm actually going to target either the tricep or even better, the elbow. So it's going to be kind of painful. So that might actually be a good distractor. Now, everything that I have discussed so far has to be descending, or is with an angle down, an angle up, or horizontal straight towards the back. But as I said before, and that's how it started, you can also change plane. You can planes. You can start from this plane, meaning a horizontal plane, and change into, in this case, a vertical plane. In this case, by doing this. Now, the horizontal and the vertical plane is because when you do this, you're describing a horizontal line. You're going from one side to the other one. And this is a vertical plane because you're describing a vertical line with the stick, right? So in this case, this is actually even more difficult, not only to perceive, because it's very difficult to see. You don't know the intentions. Currently, when I move from this side to this side, meaning only this movement, I can go for an angle 1. I can actually attack the head. I can actually change my mind and attack a 4, right? Those are very easy to see, but it's harder to see that I'm going to go for the top of the head. So it's not only harder to see, but because it's harder to see, it's going to be even more hard. It's harder to defend yourself, and that's going to be this type of attack. So that's going to be towards the top of the head or even the back of the head. So I'm going to separate so you can see it, this motion. Now, when you do this, you want to attack again the top of the head and lift slightly your elbow. Don't lift it too hard, because that's going to be very difficult for you to pull off. It's just enough. And if you want to reach the back of the head, you lift it slightly higher, and then you can attack the back of the head. Now, there are other options in which you can do this vertical strike, particularly when you attack the hand. Like, for example, a person is threatening, the person attacks, you can lean back, and then you can walk that hand just by attacking with this flicking motion. As you can see, all of these are very useful, but with the exception of the head, the other ones are just used as a mean of distractions, meaning you're going to try to distract the other person to do a follow-up. Like, for example, I attack here, the other person now is paying attention to that. I lean back and I strike the head, for example. So it will be 1 and 2. That is useful, right? Or it could be 1, changing your mind towards the other side, and then striking from the other side. So you can see you're trying to distract the person, or the main purpose of this is not to really hurt the other person, it's just to distracting. However, that doesn't mean that you're not going to hurt a person just by doing that. Definitely that's going to hurt a lot, particularly if you don't have anything to cover yourself with. But even if you do manage to take the shot, again, that's going to call the distraction. It's going to call your attention immediately to that area, which is one of the main reasons why immediately after that you're going to do a follow-up shot. So it could be 1 and towards the head, or even better, 1 and lean back towards the knee. Now, why better? Because most of the times when you're here, the person is going to immediately shield as a response. It's a common response that even people who don't know how to fight with a stick or any fight whatsoever, everyone, when they feel fear, they're going to cover naturally the center of the body. So when you do this, you might actually call attention and even make the person to guard themselves even more, making it harder for you to be efficient at attacking their head. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to try, but again, keep in mind that that is a natural reaction. So what do? You attack there, you lean back, and then you take advantage of the person uncovering the lower body to attack the knee. And then you can do a follow-up towards the head, because after you attack the lower part, the other person probably is going to focus on that knee rather than the face, and that's when you can actually attack. So as usual, again, I hope that this is useful. Keep in mind that when you train, you need to gain some range just in case you hit the other person. Be very, very careful with the other person. As usual, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like, please click like and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I invite you to watch any of the other videos that we have in our library for both Balintawak and for Kajukenbo. Check our channel. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one. Ush.